Why powerful people never explain themselves, with the psychology behind it. Have you ever noticed how the more you explain yourself, the less convincing you seem? Someone questions your decision and suddenly you're listing reasons, defending your intentions and trying to prove your character. The conversation becomes longer, but respect doesn't grow. In many cases, it quietly disappears. That's because people don't only judge your words, they judge your emotional need to be believed. The harder you fight for approval, the more authority you hand to the person judging you. The first truth is the validation trap. Most of us learned as children that explaining ourselves kept us safe. When we were blamed, we defended ourselves, hoping to avoid punishment. That habit followed us into adulthood. Today, we explain ourselves to bosses, partners, friends, and even strangers online. Without realizing it, we place other people in the role of judge while we become the one asking to be understood. The problem isn't the explanation itself, it's believing your worth depends on whether someone accepts it. Powerful people think differently. They understand that another person's opinion isn't a verdict, it's simply a perspective. Some opinions contain truth. Others reveal more about the speaker than the person being judged. That realization creates emotional distance. Instead of reacting immediately, they pause. And in that pause, they keep control of themselves instead of handing it away. The second truth is, not every question deserves an answer. Some people don't ask questions because they're seeking clarity. They ask because they're testing your confidence. Every explanation becomes another opportunity to challenge you. Every defense becomes proof that you've accepted their authority. Before long, the discussion is no longer about facts. It's about who controls the conversation. Silence changes that balance instantly. Most people expect resistance. They expect excuses, justifications, or emotional reactions. Calm silence interrupts that pattern. It forces the other person to sit with their own words instead of feeding on your response. Silence isn't avoiding conflict. It's refusing to play a game that was designed to drain you. The third truth is, confidence doesn't rush. Secure people don't panic when they're misunderstood. They know one conversation cannot define their character. If they've made a mistake, they admit it briefly and correct it. If they haven't, they don't waste energy chasing approval from people determined not to understand them. Confidence isn't proving yourself to everyone. It's trusting that consistent actions speak louder than endless explanations. The final truth is, your reputation lives in your actions. Many people believe respect is earned by winning arguments. In reality, respect is built through consistency. People eventually trust what they repeatedly observe, not what you repeatedly claim. You don't strengthen your character by defending it every time it's questioned. You strengthen it by living in a way that makes constant explanations unnecessary. Emotionally mature people understand that attention is limited. Every pointless argument steals time, focus, and peace of mind. Before responding, they ask themselves one question: will explaining this actually change anything? If the answer is no, they let the moment pass. They know that protecting their energy is often wiser than protecting their image. And this doesn't mean becoming cold or refusing responsibility. When you've genuinely made a mistake, own it. A simple, honest admission carries far more strength than a long speech filled with excuses. Secure people aren't afraid of accountability because they know one mistake doesn't define their identity. Insecure people, however, feel compelled to defend every flaw as if their entire worth depends on it. One of the greatest signs of personal growth is becoming comfortable with being misunderstood. Some people will judge you through their own fears, assumptions, and experiences. Others will believe whatever confirms the story they've already created about you. You cannot control those stories. You can only control whether you allow them to disturb your peace. The strongest people in the room are rarely the loudest. They don't feel the need to justify every decision or correct every opinion. Their confidence comes from knowing who they are, not from convincing everyone else. They understand that peace is far more valuable than approval, and that silence often protects both. So the next time someone questions your choices, resist the urge to defend yourself immediately. Pause for a moment and ask, am I explaining because clarity is needed or because I'm afraid of being judged? That single question reveals whether you're speaking from confidence or from fear. The less your identity depends on other people's approval, the more unshakable you become. Real power isn't having the perfect response. It's knowing that your value doesn't rise or fall with someone else's opinion. Have you ever caught yourself over-explaining? Share your experience in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring the hidden psychology behind confidence, influence, and human behavior, subscribe to Wookie for more psychology documentaries every week.